Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to yet another discussion on parenting. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about encouraging emotional growth in children. In fact, before that, I want to ask you all a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, now at this moment, how do you think your children are doing when it comes to the emotional quotient of it? Right? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least and 10 being the highest, how well are your children equipped to handle their emotions better in a healthy way? On a scale of 1 to 10, okay? So 1 being the least and 10 being the highest. Emotions is something that all of us, let alone children, okay, all of us, we all go through on daily basis. And that's something which is challenging for most of us, right? How do we handle it? Sometimes we just, we go over the top. Sometimes we, underplay. What's the healthy way and how can we bring about healthy expression of emotions in children, right? I have about good 10 points to share. Let me see how many points I can cover today. I'm going to start off with the first point that I wanted to share with you all, okay? So, as early as possible, introduce the words related to emotions to your children. That's the first point. Introduce the words related to emotions like happy, sad, upset, angry, and fear, anxiety. So all of it, and the list goes on, right? Just talk about these words to your children. Introduce them. Okay, so whenever you're talking to your children, just bring those words in conversation. Introduction is the first point. And as early as possible. Okay, you might think, oh, my child is still 3 and 4. I don't think he might understand the concept of anxiety or fear, right? Or even frustration. Do not underestimate your children based on their age. In fact, just this point, oh, my child is little, I don't think is ready for it yet. Just that, stops your children from growing and experiencing and exploring new things. So make sure you introduce the words related to emotions as early as possible. And now let's say your children are grown up and they're not doing as good when it comes to emotions. It's never too late. Start talking to them about it now. Start introducing those words, because mostly children are like, oh, I'm angry, I'm upset, there are certain most commonly used words that they use. Very commonly used words, right? But beyond that, children do not know much about different words that can be used and in fact what they're feeling as well. So introduction is the first point, all right? Now the second point, the first one was introduction of those words, okay? Now the second one is you got to tell them the meaning of those words, because most commonly words like happy and excited and surprised, these are all used interchangeably, right? Even right now you're happy, but we use excited, or maybe we are excited, we use happy. These are all interchangeable. These words are used interchangeably, right? So your children need to know the exact meaning of these words so the expression is good. Because maybe your child is excited right now and say I'm happy, right? But when he's expressing that to the other person thinks he's happy and not excited, though he is excited, right? Of course, it's a very simple example. I'm giving such simple examples because, this simplicity is something that I really want to keep on explaining, but replace this example with something more complex, especially in relationships. Now with us, what happens? We are going through something, but we say something else. Has that happened to you before? Say happened in the chat box. The emotion that you're going through is something, but when you put it across to the other person, you just mess up with the words and the meaning that goes across to the other person is completely different from what you actually meant and what you're going through. That is exactly why the meaning of it, right? Helping your children understand the meaning of those words is extremely important. And do that at the earliest, okay? Do not underestimate whether they will know that or no. Just try explaining out to them. Now the next point, the third point that I want to share is when you see your children going through something, okay, going through a certain emotion, ask them how they're feeling, right? Most of the times, okay, we don't ask, or even if we ask, the intention is not as genuine as to actually know what your children are going through. It's like superficial. You're busy doing something, like what happened, what's going on, why are you crying, or why are you excited, or why are you jumping around. In just that flow, we say what happened, what's going on, but you actually don't truly mean to listen, right? So when you ask your children, wait and listen to them. Yeah? Yes, listen mindfully. Exactly. Right? That's the third point. When you ask children questions on how they're feeling. When I say, I want to highlight the word ask, right? I'm not saying just state, just just mutter something so even you don't know what you're saying and your children don't know what you're saying, right? Ask them and wait for the answer, right? So if you want to continue your learning journey, then I want you to click the link in the description box and be a part of my closed Facebook group called Parenting with Ease, wherein you can attend the Monday lives that I do every week. All right, I'm going to see you there. Take care.